Cheers.
Thank you so much, Ben. And what an honor to be on this panel. I'm very grateful to be amongst Curry as a fellow marketer. Of course, my sponsor, my amazing friend, Mr. Tim Miller, going Crown Diamond. And as always, Ryan and Lisa Goodkin, Nodder. What a blessing. And of course, you, Ben. And I was thrilled today because Ben reached out and said, hey, would you like to share some stuff on today's call? I was nowhere near ready, but when your CEO calls, you get ready. All right. And so I put some notes together, and I really wanted to focus today on just your ability to generate new leads and prospects, right? We are in the business of meeting new people, and we are in the business of conversations. I want everybody to get it in your minds that we are in the business of conversations. Right? Conversations reveal things to us. It reveals whether someone is looking for what we have. It reveals if someone has a problem that they're looking to solve. Conversations reveal whether people are completely 1000% happy with their life the way it is. Conversations reveal whether people don't want to talk to you, hate you, despise you, block you. It reveals a lot. And the fortunate thing is that you can go through a conversation without even talking about LiveGood to find out where a person is, to even determine if you want to share LiveGood with them. And if you set up conversations right, they can be rejection-free conversations. However, if you are a little froggish and you're just trying to throw a bunch of information on people before you go through a conversation to extract their needs and their wants, you can experience a lot of rejection because your timing is off. It doesn't mean you're bad. It doesn't mean that they don't necessarily want it. It just means your timing is off. And like a comedian that throws out a joke and it doesn't get the laugh that he or she wants, it's because the timing may have been off, all right? Sometimes they can be a little insensitive, but the timing is usually off. And so our job as marketers, right, let alone network marketers, our job as marketers is to continuously meet people, have conversations, and really identify how we can best serve them. That's it. If you can get in your brain that some people are going to tell you right out the gate, hey, yeah, I'm looking for something, and some people are not. Some people you might have to drag it out. Some people might take 3 days for conversation. Some people inbox you and say, hey, can you send me the link? There's so many different speeds at which you can expose people, but literally our whole goal is to be in a position where we are extracting information and asking questions, all right? So I want to give you just a couple questions that you can ask people. And here's the deal, guys. It really doesn't matter whether you're asking people questions in the DMs on social media or whether you're asking people questions out. I know sometimes there are people in my team that are saying, hey, well, Tracey, I'm not on social media. I drive Amazon truck. Right? So I'm always out, or I'm, have a lawn mowing business. So I'm out meeting different people, but I'm out in the street. I say, okay, great. It doesn't really matter. The skill is in being able to ask the question. Where you ask the question is irrelevant. Okay, it's irrelevant. The skill is in being able to ask the question. I'm going to give you a few questions. One question that I always ask people is, how are you? Guys, do not bypass very simple things that allow people to believe you are a real person and you're not trying to sell them. Believe it or not, you're not trying to sell them. What you're trying to find out is if they want a solution to a problem. That's what you want, all right? So how are you is a question that I ask every single person, right? Hey, thanks so much for the friend request, or thanks so much for commenting on my post, or thanks so much for, letting me skip you in the line because I was running late this morning from taking my son to school. How are you? Okay, so that's one question. Second question that you can ask people, it doesn't have to be in this order. Do not get caught up on the chronology of this part, right? But it's really about just where the conversation takes you, but having the tools in your belt to use them appropriately. So if the conversation moves itself where it's natural to say, what do you do for a living? ask, what do you do for a living, right? If the conversation moves itself because you're talking to network marketers, I'm usually talking to networkers majority of the day. So a question I ask them, I don't say, what do you do for a living? I say, what business are you a part of? What business are you promoting? What are you working with that makes you so excited? Like, that is the natural question to the target that I'm speaking to, right? So I would say, how are you? I might even say, are you building something actively right now, right? And if so, what company is that, right? I had a lady respond to me. I said, oh, phenomenal. She said, I love it. I said, well, how long have you been there? That's another question. How long have you been building that company? She goes, 3 years. And I love it. I said, oh my goodness, what do you love about it? Right? She's telling me how to guide the conversation. I'm not just looking at my script and she's like, oh, I love it. And I'm like, okay, what's your husband's name? Okay, well, how old are your kids, right? I'm not ignoring what she's saying. I'm letting them go. So how are you? What do you do full time, right? How long have you been in this business? How long have you been in that position or job? What do you love about it? Okay, if there was something, it sounds like you absolutely love it. There's probably nothing wrong with it. But if there were one thing you could change about it, what might that look like? Right? That's a question you can ask. What you're doing is you're psychologically trying to get people to identify something that they don't like without asking them, hey, what don't you like? Yeah, those prices are high over there. Right? If you do that, people are going to defend what they love. So you have to get people to drop the guard. And a question like, well, it sounds like you love everything, but if there was one thing that you could change, or if there was one thing that you could improve, or there was one challenge that you'd like to overcome, what might that look like? They will tell you what the problem is. Oh, well, if I could make a little bit more money, I'd be happy. Oh, well, if I could keep more of my team members on, I'd be happy. Oh, if I love the products, but I'm on an auto ship, and I guess I'm just throwing stuff out. You have to listen. Okay, my point is, if you identify something that they say that you could slide in, that's great. If they say there's nothing, I love everything, my life is great, I would never change anything, it would be a sin to look at anything else. Guys, you have every right to say, well, you know what, Nader, it was so great meeting you. Listen, let's stay in touch, and I look forward to interacting with you on social media. Get out of there. That is not something that you need to pursue. But if the person says, well, I really would, like to make a little bit more money, say, well, how much money would you like to make? Right? Maybe another question would be, well, what do you think is stopping you from making the money that you have to ask the questions. Now, when you get to a point where you feel the person is a little open, you'll feel it. Guys, you have to feel things, okay? It can't be all in your head. The questions might be more of a science, but the marketing is the art. And so you have to feel where people are. So if you find a person is saying, I would like to make more money, but my team isn't doing so well. And I say, well, why do you think that? Oh, I just really don't know how to meet more people. Well, great. If you could meet more people, do you think you can make more money? Yeah, but I really don't. Right. And so people will share a bunch of different stuff. You'll finally, if it's the right person, you'll get to a segment where you'll be able to say something like, well, I don't know if this would be for you or not, but if there were a way where you could actually make more money, right, and not necessarily give up what you're doing with company 1, 2, and 3, would you be open to taking a look at it? No obligation. It may or may not be for you, right? And you take it away simultaneously. Like, I don't care. Would you be open? People say, well, sure, I take a look. Fantastic. Next question I ask after they say they'll take a look is, if I sent you the link to a video, 6-minute video that gives you all the details, would you watch it? Would you watch it? They say, sure, I'd watch it. I say, great, go here, click on the link, watch the video, and take the free tour when you're prompted. Okay, guys, that's it. If you could get in the mindset of meeting people and purely your goal is not to sell them LiveGood. Your goal is not to get a pre-enroll. Your goal is to find out what they want to change in their life. If you can get in that frame, head frame, if you can go there, then I promise the conversations will start leaning in your direction. Be rejection free. And those who don't want to be, they're not open. You never even told them about LiveGood. So there's nothing to reject, and they're not rejecting you. They're fine. And those who would like more, you share that little tidbit with them, and move them through the process. So Ben, I hope that offered some value and gave some people some tips as we move in today and close out the week. And I'm going to turn it back over to you, sir.